Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's tutorial, I'll be teaching us on how to cut and sew this shirt dress. As you can see on me, it's a shirt dress with a zipper in front, a two pockets in front, and a slit at the two side. So if this is what you want, and if you find this video inspiring and helpful, give this video a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. So let's get started. So I folded my clothes into two. I folded my fabric into two. Then the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing out a starting line. Then from my starting line, I'll be taking my shoulder to shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. Like so, that's 16 divided by 2, 8 inches. Then I'll be coming down with 1 inches for my shoulder slope. Then from there, I'll be taking my chest measurement, which is 7.6 inches. On that chest measurement, I'll be dividing my bust into 4 plus 2 inches plus 2 inches of allowance, half inches for ease and 1.5 inches for allowance. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'll be taking my half length, 16 inches. From my half length, I'll be taking my hip line, which is 8.5 inches. On my half length, I'll be taking my waist measurement divided by 4, that is 28 divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. Then on the place I'll connect it to the bust line. Then on the place I have my hip line, I'll be taking my hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches also. My hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches, so I'll connect it to where I have the waist, a gentle curve like so. Then I don't want this to be that free, so I'm going to be minusing 1 from my hip measurement. Let's say I'm having 42, which is going to give me 42 divided by 4 will give me 10.5 plus 2 inches of allowance, which is 12.5. So I'm going to be minusing 1 from 8, so I'll be taking 11.5 instead of 12.5, 11.5 all the way down to where I have my full length like so. I hope you understand what I meant. So the next thing is for me to connect all the lines together. I'll connect it together. Then the next thing for me to do is to cut it out like so. So I'll be cutting it out, following the line, following the marks and the marks I have. I'll cut it out like so. Okay. No. Make sure you cut on the line you have. You have 2 inches, half inches for seam, for ease rather, then 1.5 inches for your seam. So this is not a fitted shirt dress like so. So I'm going to draw out my armhole curve. Now I'll be taking my neck measurement. The neck width I'm using here is 3 inches. Then for the neck depth for the back, I'll be using 1 inch like so. 1 inch for the neck depth for the back. Then I'll cut it out, making sure I leave half an inch on my shoulder for my joining allowance at the shoulder. I'll cut it out like so. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the back pattern to cut out the front pattern, and also make sure your hip line, that is the hip curve, is not that sharp. It's actually a slight curve. It shouldn't be that sharp, so I'm going to reduce it with half an inch. So I'm going to be using this back piece. This back piece is what I'm going to be using to cut out the front piece. The difference between the back and the front pieces, the front piece has 2 inches or 1.5 inch allowance for your zipper. So I'll be placing my front, the back piece I cut out earlier, I'll be placing it on this fabric, on the same fabric, I'll be placing it on it to cut out the front piece. The difference between the back and the front piece is at the center front you'll be leaving 1.5 inch for your zipper allowance, and if you prefer you can decide to do a button, but I'll be making use of a zipper for it at the front. So that is the only difference. You still have the same shape, just the difference is your neck and then the zipper at the front. So for the neck depth of my front, I'm going to be coming down with 2.5 inch extra. Remember we came down with 1 inch for the back, so for the front I'll be taking that will be 2.5 inch extra. That means everything I'm taking for the front depth is 3.5 inch. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to quickly cut out the shape of the dress, like so, making sure I'm using the back piece I cut out earlier to trace out the front piece, like so. So that is what I'm currently doing right now.
Obìnrin tó tún sọ pé kó wá àtẹ́sí ẹ̀ ṣìnà ni no kò ń ṣe ṣìnà Fẹ́mi ló ń ṣe ṣìnà Fẹ́mi ló ṣe ṣìnà London Fẹ́mi like obìnrin gan láti Nàìjíríà. So because you are married, that does not give you that right to be doing ṣìnà now, and I should stay there. You should be bringing them to the house. I should be saying it. That is the reason why the girl left, that she cannot take it again. People say Nigeria, get that kind of thing.
I'll put it out like so.
Most people don't hear the girl. They will think she's like.
So I'll put aside the excess fabric. I'll lay it aside like so.
We must not hear your own side or only your own side of the story.
Then I'm going to work on my neck depth. Remember we came down with 1 inch for the back neck depth. So for this I'll be coming down with 2.5, that is plus the 1 inch, which will give me 3.5, like so. So that is what I use for the front neck depth. It means I use 3.5 for the front neck depth, while the back neck depth I use 1 inch, like so. So I'm going to connect it and curve it into the shoulder line, like so. Then I'm also going to open up my zipper allowance. I will open it up like so. Make sure you remember what you use for your zipper allowance, and if it is a button also you can turn yours into a button, but for this style I'll be making use of a zipper in front, like so. So I'm going to open up my zipper allowance all the way down. So I'm going to be chalking out the wrong side of my fabric, so there won't be a mistake when I'm joining it together. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my shoulder to shoulder. I'll be joining it using the front, joining it front to front together. That is, I'm making use of the French seam. That is, I'll be joining the front side and the other front side together. That is the right side of the both fabric. I'll be joining it together like so. I hope you get that. French seam is all about joining the front pieces together, then you turn it to the back and also join it together. So that's what I'm going to be doing on the shoulder. I'll be joining the front seam, that is the right seam, together. Then I'll flip it over. I'll cut out the excess like so. I'll trim out the excesses like so. Then I'll flip it over. I'll flip it over to the wrong side. Then I will also hold it down with quarter of an inch, like so. Hope you get that. I'll do the same thing to the other side also.
Okay, it's my guy. Appointment day. My guy. I think I did that. Okay. Appointment day. Bye bye.
And this is how it looks like in front and at the back also. All the rough edges are hidden properly. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting out my pocket piece. I'll be cutting out 2 pieces. That is, I'm making use of 14 by 10 inches. So I'm going to be folding the upper part. I'll be folding it by 2 inches. I'll take it to the machine and hold it down like so, making sure I'm folding it to the wrong side of the fabric. I'll also do the same thing to my other pocket piece also. I'll fold towards the wrong side of the fabric.
Ẹ̀rì tó sọ pé ó tún sọ fún òun pé kó wá ṣe ṣọtí fún un kó lọ bá àbúrò tó ń fẹ́ máa wọ̀ ọ̀kadà. So àbúrò sọ pé kó lọ mú èèyàn tó mọ̀ wá tó wá bá ẹ̀rìn. Mo ní if you go do am you do it at your own risk. Ìyẹn sọ pé no, I say no.
So the next thing I'll be doing is I went ahead to iron my pockets, iron the sides together. The next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be coming down with 1 inch on my waistline, and then I'll use my pin to pin down my pocket so it will be properly laid. It will be properly laid down and flat when I'm sewing it down, when I'm sewing it on the sewing machine. So this is what I'm doing like so.
Today is Angela birthday.
I'm using my pin to hold it in place to make it flat. So I'm going to sew. I'm going to sew it down on the front piece, making sure my one it's not reaching the 1.5 inch I have for my zip allowance. As you can see, there is a space in front at the center front of the front piece. I still have some spaces. That is my 1.5 inch is still in place. Make sure you leave your 1.5 inch you add for your zipper allowance. So I'm going to sew it down like so.
Daddy, tó ń pè wọ́n wà mọ́tò nítorí ẹ̀. If he was driving it, he would know.
So at this point, I'm saying my appreciation to everyone who have watched my video, viewed my video, give my videos a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm saying a big thank you to everyone. And also, if you find this video helpful, don't hesitate to comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So I'm also going to do the same thing to the other side of the front piece also. I'm also going to attach the other pocket to the front piece, making sure my 1.5 inches is in place for my zipper allowance. So I'll go over to do the same thing to the other side. Also, remember to come down by 1 inch on your waist before putting the pocket. Come down by 1 inch on your waist before putting the pocket. So I'm going to pin it down like so. I'll pin it down, making sure it is flat and well laid.
What is so full? Hey, so it does not. You don't need to follow him. No, but she you don't waver on your decision.
What? Eh? I'm looking for a face.
Àná ni bẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ kò ń ṣe.
So for my beginner, sewing is a gradual process. You don't need to be too fast, you don't need to be too slow. You just have to take your time in doing what works best for you. What works for this person might not be the same thing that works for the other person. So take your time to understand your patterns, take your time to understand yourself when it comes to sewing. This is just for my beginners, because it's not all about being fast, it's about getting the work done neatly and done well. I don't know if you get that. Like, at the end of the day, everything comes out well, everything is neat, both the inside and the outside. It's not about how fast you sew. Okay, so slow and steady win the race. So I've gone ahead to pin down and sew my other pockets together. So this is what I have. I'm removing all the pins. As you can see, my dress is coming out, is looking beautiful. So at this point, I'll be joining the two sides of my fabrics together, the two sides of my dress together. I'll be joining it together, making sure I'm joining it with a 1 inch allowance. Remember, I left 2 inches of allowance, so I'll be joining it with 1 inch allowance. Then from the M line, from the place I have my full length upward, I'll be taking 21 inches for my slit, because my dress is going to be having a slit by the two sides. So from the M, from the bottom line of my dress, I'll be taking 21 inch upward. That is where I will want my slit to stop, like so. That is what I'm doing, like so. I'll take it upward like so. I'll notch that place. Then I'm going to be folding that side. Just watch closely how I fold it, like so.
I'm telling you. There's more to it. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need to follow him.
Please subscribe to my channel, like my video, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe and share my video if you find this video helpful. So the same thing I'm going to be doing to the other side also. I'm going to be holding the other side of my dress with 1 inch allowance straight down to where I have my 21 inches for my slit opening at the side also. So I'm going to be measuring my 21 inches from the bottom, from the full length of my dress. And I'm going to back stitch. I'll come up a bit to notch it, and I'm going to hem my slit side. I'm going to be folding it in place like so.
Hey, go back.
So I'm also going to be ending the bottom line of my dress with 1 inch. 1 inch. That is, I'll fold half in and half in again. So I'll do this for all the bottom line. Same thing I'm going to do to the other side also. I'm aiming it with 1 inch.
That's what I'm telling you. You shouldn't come back.
At this point, I'm cutting out the excess thread. So my dress is almost ready. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be measuring what I have on my neck. What I have, I'm going to measure it all around minus the 1.5 inch I have for my zip. You know, it's folded into two, so that 1.5 is going to give me 3 inches. So whatever I have on the round neck, I'm going to minus 3 inches from it. So I was having 21.5 minus 3 inches. 21.5 minus 3 inches will give me 9 1. So I went ahead to stylishly stone the pocket, the top and the down part of my pocket. So then I'm using the zip. This zip is 40 inches long. So I'll be marking my 1.5 inch I have for my zip that I left for my zip. As you can see, my zip has been pinned in place, so I'm just going to run down a stitch. I'm going to sew it down. I'm going to sew my zip in place like so, making sure I have it placed on the 1.5 inch I left.
If you don't
like
treat
so.
your boy child, they don't know that this is not the way to treat a lady.
So if you have a manual zipper foot at this point, you can decide to use your manual zipper foot, but I don't have, so I'm going to make do with my straight sewing foot. So that's what I'm doing. And as you can see, the stones on my pocket, I sort of don't want the ankara to look plain, so I just want a little bit of something shining a bit. So I decided to play around on the pocket side. So I'm going to sew my zipper in place like so, making sure I'm sewing it on the 1.5 inch I left for my zipper allowance. At this point, you can opt for a button. If you decide you want to use a button, it is also fine, but then I think a zipper works well for me, so I'm going to be using a zipper.
Sorry, I'm sorry to say me ní respect fún kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. And some things tí mo máa ń wò mi lọ́kàn ó ní àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan tí mo ní. Ẹ káàsán, ẹ káàbọ̀.
How are you?
So I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be holding my zipper at the other side, making sure I'm using 1.5 inch to hold my zipper. That is the space I left, the inches I left in the center front for my zipper allowance. So I'm going to be removing the pin and making sure it is well laid and well sewn. At this point I don't have a zipper foot, so it was a bit not straight, so I had to stop and go back a bit. So I'm going to open that up. I'll open my zipper up so that my foot can pass through like so. So at this point we are almost done with our dress. I'm attaching my sleeve into my dress, and I'll also be attaching my collar to the neck. So if you find this video helpful, give this video a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So I'm putting in my sleeve into the dress like so, and the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm also going to be attaching my collar to the neck. So I'm going to be putting on this dress so for you all to see how it's look. If you find this video helpful, subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up. Also click on the notification bell to let you know anytime I upload new video. Thank you so much.